This is how I analyze the pre-market to get better entries and try to time my setups. So this is on Amazon. And first and foremost, what I'll do is just simply draw some support and resistance. And right now I'm looking at a 3-minute chart before market open, and I will be drawing basic resistance levels. We have the high here, nothing special there. We have support here, nothing special there. Basing that off of this line, this little pre-market move here, this little pre-market move here, some consolidation there, almost a bounce there. And then we're going to draw one right in the middle. Sometimes I draw 4 lines, sometimes I draw 5, sometimes I draw 2. But here's a line right here. And that'll also be essentially there, 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 and there. All right, so there we go. Next, what I'm going to try to do, and this is the part that is very more art than science, obviously. And also, this is the part where it's up to very subjectivity. Totally agree that this is all perspective, this is all opinion, and this is very subjective. However, when you're creating an Elliot wave or you're trying to determine what it is that you see, that's really all trading is anyway. All trading is subjective. So when people say, oh, don't do this wave count because it's all theoretical. Well, of course, all trading is. All we're trying to do is create what we expect based on what we see and then kind of plan ahead accordingly. So what I do when I'm looking for pre-market and trading in general is I just look for some wave counts and try to determine what do I see, what makes sense to me. With that being said, this looks like a wave 3, some version of a wave 3. That was a strong move up. It was a lot of bull candles. It was a really crisp, clean direction. I could say this was a wave 3 as well, which means this was some kind of 4. This was some kind of 5. This is some type of ugly correction. Another 1, another 2, a 3, some kind of 4, and then I have 5. Now, so if we think, okay, this is a wave 5. This is the ends of the move. We're at a resistance. What are we at now? Well, again, I'm going to kind of work backwards and just kind of look at, all right, well, this looks pre-market-esque, like the biggest sell-off to me. So I would say this is some type of 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to have some type of wave 5. We'll trade down into a support, and then we'll begin to bounce. Is that going to happen? I really have no clue. I don't know if this is right, but all I'm going to do is go, okay, I've counted what I think is a good wave count. It makes sense to me. So therefore, I'll be looking to go long off the support. Is it going to happen? We'll see. We'll see if we get a good reversal candle. We'll get a good setup. Would you have the ability and the capability of just setting up a limit buy down there? Well, of course, right? So if you were doing that, your limit buy would be below the low of this move, something like this. So this would be a pre-market low buy. All right, so you notice the pre-market low is right around here. So we're just buying a little bit lower than that. But also, you could easily make the argument, well, hey, you're just buying out of support. Yeah, that is correct. We're buying out of support, buying low, selling high. You got some support over here, right? You can see we kind of breached it, and we kind of breached it over here. So what I would do is place my stop below all of these guys. So below here, below all that. So my stop would look like this, 113.40. So this is approximately 40 cents. So to make the trade a little bit better, I probably would move it down to 38 cents, which just means an easy 50 cents of risk. That's easy for me to calculate. I don't have to try to do 48 cents. I can just do 50 cents and boom, I can calculate that before market and bang, bang, bang. All right, so here we go. Here comes the next trade on Amazon. Let's see how the market opens. Nice little lower shadow, a big bull volume, indecision candle. Cool. Means nothing so far. So we'll see what it does. We pop up a little bit higher. Great. So we're going a little bit higher. Again, we have this little support level here. So again, I'm still expecting if this is a wave 4, right? If this is all a wave 4, then we're expecting this move and we can get a wave 5. Don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that was what I drew. And we haven't made a lower low yet. So let's find out if we get it. Another bull candle, so we can't go long here. And here's a bear candle. Okay. So we have a bear candle. We could roll over here. Who knows? We do, we don't. No idea. But what I will do is I'll draw a resistance. I'll look at my support resistance level and I'll ask, do we have room to go into the next level? And the answer is we do. So I could easily go long here if I go, all right, well, my wave count was just entirely incorrect. Not a big deal. Let's see if we can go bullish. This is my entry, this is my stop, and this is my target. That also works out. Not an issue. However, I wouldn't want to trade sideways here for another candle or two since we're at a resistance and this could be a wave 4 potentially. I don't want to get wicked in. So I'm going to wait 1, maybe even 2 more candles just to see what they look like before I would set this trade up to avoid getting wicked in. All right. Next candle, strong bear candle. All right, so automatically this one's like, okay, still a valid setup, especially if we kind of compress here. But this looks to me like we're not going to do that, so we'll see. But if we break higher, I mean, this looks valid, but I still would love to buy lower. Oh, wow. Holy smokes. Okay. Well, here's definitely a drop. And so it does seem like my wave count was correct. I got lucky. Wave count was right. Wave 4. Now, what most people are going to do here is they're going to panic. They're going to go, well, oh my gosh, this stock's going to go to 0. Let me change everything. Let me change all of my analysis. And while I totally respect that, long story short, you're always going to be scared when you're buying a big pullback, when you're buying into a bear candle. I haven't found a way to avoid that, at least yet. So one way to avoid that is maybe to have a little bit of a larger stop rather than 50 cents. So if you're like, oh, you know what, let me just put it down here and give myself 80 cents of risk. You could do that. That's okay. That's valid, right? Have a little bit of a larger stop. Either way, doesn't really matter. What you're trying to do is just come up with what your plan was, what your analysis was, and stick to that, because that is discipline. All right, next candle that comes in. I promise I haven't looked at this ahead of time. I know you might feel that way, but just kind of trust me. So bear high wave, indecision candle, lower shadow. Looks like I would have missed my entry by a penny. So I'm gonna leave it open for 2 or 3 more candles. Okay, here's an inside candle. All right, so we've gotten filled right here. Bunch of bear candles in a row, so I'm not going to increase my stop yet. I need to increase my stop with a nice bull candle. And okay, so here's a bull candle. And this is where I would move my stop up just a little bit, something like this. Now, this, again, obviously is a back trade. So what's amazing is if we get stopped out here, you can't say that this is a market maker hunting my stop, because this order's not even real. This is a paper trade. This is previous analysis, right? So this is not even live. If we get stopped out, we'll know that we moved the stop too soon. And then we can come up with a rule that says, hey, we shouldn't be able to move our stop within a certain period of time on every single trade. And you can do that for a long period of time. For me, I have no issue following any rule that I set before myself at this point in my trading career. So if I have a rule that says, hey, I can only do this and I do this, right now I'm able to kind of move my stops as I see fit. But anyway, regardless of that point, we're getting a little bit of a move. And already, since we had a relatively decent size stop, we're already doing okay. So this was our one risk unit at 50 cents. Team, that was already 1.6 Rs. Think about that. With good stop placement, with good pre-market analysis, and with nice low entries, if you can buy low enough and set your stop at a good spot, you can do really, really well in these moves. I mean, so again, I mentioned setting a stop for 80 cents, which would be down here. This is already very close to 1.2 Rs with an 80 cent stop loss. So if we were, let's say we did 80 cent stop loss, 1.2 Rs is right here. If we missed it with that type of upper shadow, I would increase it a little bit, right? So let's just kind of go forward. If this candle would come in and I had an 80 cent stop, so I'll draw that. So let's say that stop was down here. My target would be 1.2 would be 114.88. I'd increase it at this point, move it up just a little bit like that. Next candle is an inside candle. That means compression, which is good. I'm waiting. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Missed the target by a penny. So 115.07, 115.08 is the target. So that means I'm going to increase the target and I'm going to move my stop a little bit more. So I'm going to increase the target to 115.15, and I would take the stop loss and move it up into here, where regardless of where my stop was at this point, if it was 80 cents or if it was the 50 cents, I would have my stop right there on Amazon. And next trade, we hit the target. And that would have been a great win. Huge win, in fact. So if we had the 50 cent stop, I mean, this is right at a little more 2 Rs. Yeah, 2.5. I mean, team, what an amazing trade. But the point of this all is sitting down, doing the pre-market analysis, looking for Elliot wave counts, because yes, I do that almost every single trade, especially if I'm looking at it before market open. I am drawing my support resistance lines, and I am going to try to find out how low can I buy. And if I can buy low and have a good stop based on previous days, wicks and support and resistance and all that good stuff, then that will be my attempt, and we'll go from there. So let's do this one more time on Tesla, and I'll pick a random day that I can't see yet right before market open. I'll kind of give you the analysis that I would do on that. All right, so again, this is the 3-minute chart. I can say this for sure. You can use any time frame for pre-market. You can use 15-minute, 5-minute, hourly. There's no real special answer. All right, so I'm just going to draw some support resistance. All right, so we got some support there. We got a resistance there. That's really all I see. So we're in some type of channel. I can't really get a clear Elliott wave. I can't really, it just looks like we're going sideways. We've been sideways for a while. So assumption is that I'm just going to try to buy as low as I can pre-market. So I'll look to probably enter here at 665. So if that's 665, I'm just going to try to get cute. Limit buy all sixes. The devil's number. All right, so all sixes, I'll try to buy there. That seems a little too close, huh? I'm just trying to buy a little bit lower. Just trying to expect some type of volatility spike down. That's all. And then I'm going to place my stop below these lows. That's nothing special to this. So 665, so doing a $10 stop, which is very, very normal on Tesla. And looking at the pre-market, so if I had to analyze an Elliott wave with just this information, which that's fine too. This could be a 1, 2. This is a 3. This is probably some kind of 4, which would indicate that this a wave 5 could happen, and that could allow me to buy lower. Let's see if this happens. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this triggers. Time is market open. Okay, so just a few more minutes. All right, here's market open. Holy Moses. All right, so at market open, we just get absolutely squashbuckled. We did get filled on this trade. And if we get stopped out again, that's absolutely fine, but at least we got the wave count right. So we did buy low for sure, and we might get stopped out, but hey, again, it's going to happen. It's a guarantee. And again, we're going to kind of plan on what do we need to do from here. So if we get stopped out, might be able to short a retest, or if we get back above this candle at some point, we will be going long. So let's just see what happens on the next candle. The next candle will determine if we win or lose on this trade. So this will be a loser. Yep, and there we go. So we got stopped out on the trade. Not that big of an issue, but again, knowing and being able to see that this was a wave 4 and this is a wave 5, like that is valuable. That is the benefit of knowing that the trend is kind of continuing lower. So now we have a bull candle. I like this bull candle. So again, this is a 1 hour loss. So once I lose an R, that doesn't mean I just pack it up. That just means, okay, well, let me just see if I can get it back. So we've broken lower. We have a bunch of bear moves. This could be a wave 5 or it could be a wave 3. But I can see that we definitely made a new low. I can kind of get rid of this. And what I'll now do is anticipate that we're going to get something like that. Something like this, some type of quick little move in and out. And then we'll see how much lower we go. So here's a little bit of a retracement. Here is the big upper shadow candle. Okay, so some good volume here. Again, the question you might be asking is, why am I not looking to short? Well, if I think this is a wave 5, we're not going to have much lower to go before there's some type of completion of this wave. So I'm really trying my best to wait here. This is a strong close below those candles. So, I mean, I would assume that we're going to go a little bit lower. Okay, so here's another little bit of a low. Inside candle. So again, team, right now I'm waiting. I'm being extremely patient. This is an S curve here for sure. A little bit of a dip. But remember, I lost an R, so I'm not going to just immediately get right back into a trade. I was looking at going bullish. My plan is to still go bullish. I still think, based on the wave count, that this could go bullish or have some type of correction. And we did break some support. We are making lower lows. We are making lower highs. The trend is bearish. I get that. But again, looking at wave counts, I'm just trying to anticipate that at some point, this is going to slightly run out of steam. All right, next candle. Well, here we go. This is a very nice close. There's obviously some bearish trapped in here. So I'm going to kind of go with the exact same thesis as before, that this is the end of a wave 5, and we're about to get an A, B, C wave out of here at minimum. So 654 by 644, essentially, right? So this is going to be a 10-point stop. And let's get after it. Filled immediately. Oh, I love that lower shadow. Let me see you dance. I don't like that candle, though. Not a huge fan of that candle. No dancing to be had. All right, so, ooh, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So there's some type of pivot being formed here. And if I'm counting waves inside of this move that we're getting now, this would be a wave 3 of some magnitude. So this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to get an ugly correction. So I'm not going to move my stop loss yet, but I am going to draw this as a support resistance and just kind of go forward in time. So what I would do here is I'd walk away from the chart. I wouldn't be in front of this for a little bit. I'd walk away, essentially being terrified, crying my little face off, and I wouldn't be in front of the computer for any of this. Okay, So the wave count that I had mentioned earlier, potentially A, potentially B, and potentially C, it looks like we are trying to form that. I've now been in this trade for 9 o'clock, 30 minutes. So this is a good time for me to move my stop loss, right? Remember, I lost an R already realized, so I don't want to lose again. I don't want to lose 2 R's, so I'm going to increase my stop. Going to wait here for a little bit. I love this new high. This is a very, very pretty inverted head and shoulders pattern. I love that. That is glorious. We're actually coming up into 1R right up here. This is going to be 1.3-ish, which would put us profitable for the day. I don't think we hit that. What? That is awesome. Wow, that is amazing volume. That is really, I mean, that's the biggest volume of the day. So this would be a 1, 2, 3 then, which means we're going to have a wave 4, we're going to have a wave 5. So I'm going to move my target. I mean, we just missed it. Yeah, I'm going to move my target. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it at the high of the day, 672. I'm going to increase my stop loss. And this is the one thing that I will do that most traders won't, ladies and gentlemen. I will barely move my stop. I'll put my stop right here. So now I can lose even less. I'm putting it below this wick. I'm only going to lose about 0.6 R's if I'm wrong. And I'm going to walk away for 30 minutes on this trade. I won't be here. I won't look at it. I won't see it. I won't be in front of the charts. I won't look at it on my phone. I'm going to be away. And so I wouldn't have seen any of this happen. And we would have hit the target and we would have won on this trade. And I would have been able to win more than I lost. Doing this all with number 1, wave counts. Number 2, pre-market analysis. Number 3, sticking to my direction, anticipating that it was going to be bullish. Number 4, buying as low as I can, selling as high as I can. Number 6, realizing that as much as I do love these candles here, and this is a bear breakdown and it is a good bear close, and we could have made a little bit of money with the bear trade, maybe if we were really, really focused on it enough. My thought was it just looks like that we were trading into a support zone, right? Looking at this pre-market. And again, it was really all based on this guy right here. The fact that this level from a few days ago was a support. And I just wanted to be cognizant of that fact. I didn't want to be too aggressive there. And again, could I have tried to make some bear money with these candles closing below these candles? Absolutely. Probably could have, probably should have. I would have, if I back up, again, this is all in hindsight at this stage, but I should have tried to maybe short like this, short off that low, 10-point stop. So that'd be 657, 667 would be all the way up here. And then a 10-point win would be 647 would be right there. That's what that would look like to be a good winning trade. Wouldn't hit it, right? Would have barely missed it. Would have come back up into my entry, which tells me that this is not going to be a really great winning trade. And so right about here-ish, this is where I know the trade has to work. And so I'd move my stop to there, lose as small as I possibly can on this bear trade. This bull candle coming in tells me, hey man, this is probably just not going to work, dude. So if I can get out on the next candle below my entry, I will, right? The very next candle gets below my entry for a second, I would have exited there and I would have taken the small win. Now, granted, that's a hindsight bearish trade, but I would have stayed to my bullish perspective on this, as I did with the bullish trade. Would have won 1.7 R's on the day and would have been up 0.7 R's total. Anyway, this is how I analyze pre-market. This is what I do for my day trades. I hope it helps. Anyway, all my goal is, ladies and gentlemen, is to enrich lives and to show you how you can be a magnificent, incredible, fantastic, loving, generous, prosperous person of abundance, of bliss, and of consistent profitability in the markets. I hope this was helpful. You rock. Goodbye.